What if FARIGIRAF was in Gen 1 OU, combining the normal and psychic type? Obviously, that's gonna be a recipe for a very, very strong Pokemon. We went over Wyrdeer a few days ago, and now the main question's gonna be, which one is gonna be better? Now, this is probably like my personal favorite between the two, because you guys might not know this, but Girafarig is actually one of my favorite Pokemon. I don't know if it's good enough to be in my top 10, but I do really like it. Girafarig is one of my first ever, not just Pokemon cards, but also one of my first ever just toys. I don't know why, but I have just 2 Girafarig toys, like, at my house. It's weird. But not just that, because I remember when FARIGIRAF was released, and I actually have a video. As you see here, like a while ago, I did how good will FARIGIRAF be actually. It's one of my first ever videos, like where I just had to make a. Now that I think about it, it probably is my first ever podcast type of video. Because before this, I would mostly just do gameplay videos with playing Pokemon Showdown or Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So yeah, this video right here is actually just a precursor to the videos you see now. What if blank was in Gen 1 OU? So that alone lets me, have a pretty soft spot for FARIGIRAF. I also just love Johto. Heartgold and Soul Silver were my first ever mainline games. And I played those games alongside watching the Johto anime on Boomerang. So, this guy's just cool. And so is Johto. I'm recording this on the day of the Pokemon Presents. So, not gonna lie, W was expecting Legend Celebi, but I'm not complaining with Legends A or ZA. But enough about that. Let's go over the actual Pokemon, shall we? Don't need to explain why this typing is amazing. You have the best types in the game, the best physical, the best special, and just really good defensively. You have paralysis from Body Slam, that you're immune to that. You resist Psychic, which is good because that's spammed all the time. You have Stab Psychic, which is always nice. You have Body Slam, Hyper Beam, and these stats are just really good too. But comparing that 120 HP with let's say Snorlax, it's not as high, but still really good. I'm pretty sure you would be, I actually want to look at, yeah, the second highest is just, Wigglytuff and Lapras. But your HP is still pretty, really high, just for even Gen 1 standards, I would say. Higher than, both Kangaskhan, Rhydon, and Jigglypuff. Oh no. So busted. But also its attacking stats are also good. 90 attack is pretty good for the time, especially with stab normal moves. 110 special is that the same as? No, not the same as Starmie. Starmie has speed 100 and wait, no, it's Snorlax and Gengar with base 110 speed. I forget what exactly is 110, but that's obviously just really good. It's 70 special defense, and defense also is pretty good for the time. And 60 base speed is good, because it means you outspeed Executor. Which is, well, admittedly, you wish you could also outspeed Cloyster, but with Cloyster, it's not the biggest deal in the world. So for the most part, your stats are perfect. Because the main thing that would be a huge threat to you, the Executor, you can outspeed, which means you can probably deal with the sweep BS good enough. And its moveset, as you can imagine, is just phenomenal. You have agility, but you're never going to use it. Same with Earthquake. It's good, but you are a Psychic type, so you do not need Earthquake to hit Gengar. Obviously, you have Light Screen, you have Psychic, you have Reflect, which is interesting, but I don't see anyone really using it. And funny enough, you have both Thunderbolt and you have Thunder Wave. Well, because of just how good your standard stab moves are in your setup, I think you're not going to use either one of these. maybe Thunder Wave. Like, I think outside of the main 4 moves, it's the one most likely to be used. However, Body Slam is like a pretty good chance for paralyzing anyways. And the other moves it has are just so OP that, like, it's actually, like, we're just not running T-Wave, which is absolutely insane. And that's because you have Amnesia. You have Amnesia, Hyper Beam, Psychic, and then, like, Body Slam. Like, look at this right here. This should not be allowed to be legal. And I guess technically it's not. It might be legal one day. I don't know. If you guys would like to see FARIGIRAF in a Generation Jumble, let me know. Actually, I'll just say this now for future seasons of Generation Jumble. Instead of recommending, like, individual Pokemon, I recommend you should just recommend, like, themes. Like I said this before, the next theme is gonna be, like, buffing the weak types like Bug and Fighting. I think the next one after that will be a Hoenn Takeover with, like, Slaking, the Weather Trio, and Gen 1 Ubers, etc. But that's besides the point. FARIGIRAF here has pretty much everything it could ever want. And comparing it to Wyrdeer, like, you have, like, let's get this guy out of here. Wyrdeer is surprisingly faster and surprisingly bulkier outside of HP. But it's not like that much, as you see here, just like 72, 75. And higher physical attack. However, like, even though, like, Wyrdeer has most of the same moves, and with, like, even having Hypnosis, like, in contrast, you have Amnesia. And in my opinion, I think Amnesia is more consistent. And I think that, well, is it good better than Wyrdeer? That's up for you guys to decide. But I'm gonna say that, like, FARIGIRAF is more, well, I think with Amnesia being more consistent and actually having a higher just special stat, I'm gonna say that FARIGIRAF is probably better, but it's up for you guys to decide. So let's get into the replays. We don't have as many this time because I don't need to show Amnesia walling a special attacker that much. But starting out with the boy Tauros himself, you unfortunately can't really afford to set up Amnesias. If you already have one set up, that's great, obviously. But outside of that, it's could go either way. Which that's sorry. But that's like the really insane part with FARIGIRAF. Even though it has Amnesia, with base 110 special and 90 attack, it already has the tools to just be able to take on pretty much anything in the format 1v1. Amnesia just makes it more bulky and makes it hit harder. And I'll just show right here. Like, because of how well FARIGIRAF did for the first match, for my first replay, I actually didn't even, like, have it use, any boosting moves against Snorlax, and it lost. But as you can see here, Amnesia really does, like, you know, like, hold everything up back together, and allows FARIGIRAF to completely dominate a Pokemon like Snorlax. Snorlax, has Self-Destruct, so in reality, like, it's, at best, a good matchup, but it's probably more like a cuckoo either way. But I'll just keep it in, good matchups for now for the tier list, because if you ask me, if your Snorlax, if you need to self-destruct in order to win, that alone already makes it a good matchup, because your opponent should not need to sacrifice their Snorlax. And then Chansey, you have Amnesia and Psychic, so theoretically, you could just, like, brute force it that way. But why would you need to do that when you can just Body Slam into Hyper Beam? Because yeah, that kills. So, the best special ball in the game, that can't really do anything to FARIGIRAF. So what else is there? I think the only chance you have is for something that's not Alakazam to outspeed. Like, I think, like, as you see in a little bit, stuff like Cloyster and Jinx, they can, like, potentially take advantage of stuff. Stuff like Tauros can also, like, you know, put up a good fight, because it's Tauros. Or just crits. Crits in general. Like, that's something to remember for these replays. A lot of Pokemon, like Zapdos, or anything like Somewhere, well, a lot of times this power through the, amnesia and just hit a really powerful critical hit. It's not enough to, like, hinder, like, Farigiraf's viability, but there's something to really keep in mind if you ever want to, like, use a game with Farigiraf. And poor Executor, it has Sleep Powder, but not only does Farigiraf resist Psychic, but it has Amnesia. So Farigiraf can easily just, sit here and just wait to, get woken up. And Executor only has Double Edge, which not only does a lot of recoil to Farigiraf, or not Farigiraf, to itself, but a lot of Executors don't even use it. A lot of Executors only have Psychic as like their attacking move. And if that's the case, then yeah, Farigiraf does really, really good, I would say. And then Gengar needs to hit that Hypnosis, because it's too dangerous otherwise. And it's very unfortunate, but I really don't wish I had more to say, but not really. I always hate having to go over the Gengar replays, and I hate having to make the Gengar replays too. Because, like, I don't know if you have noticed, but for all of my new replays with Gengar, I don't even start with Hypnosis. I start with using Nightshade, because it is so boring just having to, like, talk about it and make the replay for it. Because it's like, you want to show how Gengar does against the Pokemon, but if it's going to spam Sleep, you don't get to see anything. So, like, I don't know, like, would you guys care if Gengar was a Pokemon I skipped more often now, just like Jolteon and Jinx? Because there honestly is barely anything to really say. Because either it's like a ghost type, and if it's like something like Megalopony, obviously I also have Gengar, but like the Gengar section is always my least favorite part of every single video. I don't know why I keep getting so sidetracked this video actually. Poor Farigiraf, he doesn't even get the spotlight. Or maybe he doesn't even want it, because, with Jinx, it can just put Farigiraf to sleep. It has Blizzard, so unlike Executor, it can still hit Farigiraf. And with that really good crit rate, it can be really dangerous and kill Farigiraf very, very quickly. Gotta hate to see it. But hey, at least there's like something that can put up a good fight against Farigiraf. Yeah, Slowbro, this one's weird. Because you have Amnesia, but most sets for Farigiraf won't have Thunder Wave, and also they most won't have Thunderbolt either. So with only Psychic, you're mostly just using Amnesia to just survive the Slowbro attacks. By the way, with 2 Amnesias, you're already at like 954. So I'm pretty sure you're supposed to like stay at that. And also, yep, the 256 glitch. Or the HP 56, not the one we miss. Either way though, it was funny when that happened. And I think this matchup is still could go either way for either one of them. I think whoever wins this matchup, outside of just glitches like that, it just depends on paralysis luck. Slowbro paralyzing you with Thunder Wave means it's probably going to get more chances for you to get fully paralyzed. But at the same time, Farigiraf can definitely tank a few surfs, especially if it has like enough amnesias up. And you have a lot of chances to paralyze with a Body Slam as well. So, could go either way. And Slowbro isn't really your best counter to Farigiraf anyways. Skipping the Starmie replay, because even though Starmie crits a lot, I don't think you need to see it get destroyed by Amnesia. So last but not least, we have Zapdos. Zapdos can hit pretty hard, but Amnesia boosted Psychic hits a little bit harder. But Drill Peck also hits pretty hard. And also, a Drill Peck or a Thunderbolt getting a crit just annihilates Farigiraf. So, could go either way, 100%. So here is the tier list. And despite it only really being good matchups, I feel like Farigiraf would be fine in Gen 1 OU. Very likely, it might be the best Pokemon. But, I don't know. Like with Wyrdeer, which I don't think Wyrdeer is stronger than Farigiraf. I definitely think Farigiraf is the better Pokemon. But I almost feel like Wyrdeer would have a worse impact on the meta. I don't know how to explain it. It's very weird. I guess it might just be because, Wyrdeer would rather use Hypnosis, and I think Thunder Wave is also pretty annoying. And while FARIGIRAF, obviously, it has it too, you're just not going to see it as much. And Amnesia, very powerful, but... Oh, I just realized I forgot the Cloister replay. It doesn't really matter. The Cloister replay was just, like, Cloister hitting a few clamps, missing clamp, and then, like, FARIGIRAF hitting hard with, Psychic. So, yeah, but, like, Cloister, Swellbro, like, pretty much everything could go either way, and especially Jinx here. These can, like, check, FARIGIRAF, I would say. Even, like, Snorlax and, like, a Lucky Gengar can do that as well. So, yeah, overall, just a pretty good Pokemon. I don't think it's too overpowered. And I feel like... Actually, no. Even with Amnesia, I think Tauros would still be the best Pokemon in the format. It's just faster and just, you know, hits super hard. But it doesn't really matter too much. But what do you guys think? Do you think Wyrdeer is better than FARIGIRAF? Do you think FARIGIRAF should be in Ubers? And what would you like to see next? Because of the Legends, like, ZA, I am thinking I might want to start doing more Mega Pokemon again. But there's still some other very popularly requested Pokemon that I would probably do first. But we'll have to see. Thank you all for watching. This is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.